been cheating on him for 3 years with his best friend. We had 2 kids, 3 and 6 years old. And he could have walked away, should have walked away, could have. And when all this came out, and I hid it for 3 years in the church, he literally looked at me and he said, "Casey, I don't know how to not love you." That is when Jesus became my Lord.
I have the heart. I need nothing more.
You're set. Better not to linger here, though, eh?
Kratos. Zeus.
Zeus?
My father.
Your father was Zeus? That explains a lot.
What is that place?
Never go there. Understand?
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, and turn on all notifications so you know when I have a whole new video up. Tonight's video is with the help of Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace. I did not agree with everything that he said, but a lot of things that he said made a lot of sense. I just think he pushed his opinion a little bit too much in certain topics on the LGBT choice, on the choice of abortion. And me, I am pro-choice, but there's a couple reasons for that because I try to be consistent. I am freedom of choice across the board. If a woman wants to, or a guy wants to color their hair green, fine. If a guy wants to dress up as a girl, fine. If he want to call himself a girl, fine. Now, he should not be able to force me to call him a girl. Okay? If he looks close enough to a woman and I mistake him as a woman, then fine. I don't really care with people's sexuality. While there will be people that say that is a sin, and maybe it is, but I do go by that thing when Jesus told the guys that was about to stone this particular dude for something, that he who is without sin cast the first stone. Now, it is a clause in there. I always go by if a person's actions is affecting other people, if they have hurt people, deleted people, those things like that. I'm like an eye for eye type of person, tit for tat. Hey, you did this to other people, this should happen to you. Okay, that's just how I am with that particular thing. This video is more on giving men a solution of how to pick the right woman. And I'm no expert here because I made mistakes picking the wrong woman. Even when I had a game plan of like, okay, I'm not going to do this particular thing again because the woman I chose previously, I figured out she's the wrong one. I may meet a new woman and then maybe she does not do those things that have definitely turned me off, but she does some new stuff that I was not even aware of that a woman may do. Charlie Kirk say some pointers would pick the right woman, and only because I was not in his relationship. I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but his wife appeared to be a model citizen. She was not doing podcasts pitting down her husband. She was not twerking on video. She was not embarrassing her man. She was not caught entertaining other men. And he wasn't caught entertaining other women. So, going by the picture that he painted of his family with this interview that he had. He covered a lot of spaces of how to weed out the wrong woman. So let's see what he has to say.
So in dating, look, I do not think you should have sex before marriage. I know that's a provocative take. I think sex is holy. I don't, and by the way, it's not just a religious take. I actually think that if you introduce sex into dating, then all of a sudden there's kind of like a dilution of what exactly will be the ultimate physical crescendo of marriage. So you can actually make a rational, reasonable, non-religious argument for that. Anyway, that's like a whole other topic that we could discuss another time, but I will defend that. I actually think bring back purity, bring back saving yourself for marriage.
You know, he's not wrong here. In the ideal world, yes, both the man and the woman should wait for marriage to have that sexual connection. The thing is, though, how many people do that? I think what he's saying only really applies if both the man and the woman are virgins or they have limited sexual experience. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that Charlie Kirk's wife, his widow, she obviously have slept with other men before she slept with him, but because he is so into the church, I would not be surprised if he was a virgin or he had just a few sexual experiences. And look, this may not apply to everybody's particular situation. I say this because I believe when women have sexual experiences and they have a man, even if he was trash, a trash human being, and he was able to make her climax, if she gets with a guy that's treating her good and doing everything else, but he cannot make her climax, she may look at him in a certain type of way. And I'm going by anecdotal evidence of women either saying, "Oh, I love him, but his pecker is small," or "he doesn't hit it like Tyrone or Chad." Okay. And in one of my videos, I say, a woman may cheat on you and you may never find out. That's if she has feelings for you. And I don't think love has anything to do with it. She may actually care about you and still cheat on you. I think cheating comes down to a thing of respect. This is how I think people can still love a person or care about a person and still step out. But obviously, they don't respect the person or they don't trust them that they are being faithful to them. I'm saying that the people that will cheat because they think the other person is cheating and blah, blah, blah. Now, for men, I do think maybe it's good if the man is not a Russell Wilson, because I know Russell Wilson did this with Sierra. But, and I say not him because obviously he still was spellbound with this woman. And he was previously married, so he wasn't a virgin. But supposedly they did wait until marriage to seal the deal with that particular thing. I say not being him because I do think a lot of men get nut fog once they be smashing a woman. Because I know that happened with me, with the ex-wife, because she was attractive. And she wasn't a bad person. And she did do some good things for me. But if the smashing was not good and she was doing some of those things with the entertaining or hanging out or having having friends that I find distasteful, whether it's men or women. If I was not distracted by that. Some of the good things that she was doing, and in the fact that she was my type, I don't think I would have put up with that.
Okay, but other things is this: you should go on a road trip with the person you're dating. It's very important. So you should find uncomfortable, high pressure travel situations. That's not just like flying first class to Aruba. And you should try to be in places of discomfort intentionally with who you are dating, and you'll find out a lot with that person.
Oh my gosh, he is so right with this. It was an ex-girlfriend of mine, not the one I married. It was an ex-girlfriend of mine that said you should take the person you're dating out on a hike or something. That way you will see how they respond under pressure. That's not a bad idea. Thing is, though, I don't like hiking myself, but I am a team person, whether with friends, relationship. Despite the fact I might be uncomfortable in a situation, I'm trying to get us to work together to get out of the situation. I will say, in my longest relationship, I did not always communicate that effectively because I was feeling a certain kind of way that I wasn't being man enough to be able to just do it myself. And sometimes I would get either mixed signals or energy from her that she was expecting me to figure it out. So sometimes I didn't say anything, but I should say it anyway. That way it would not been a thing like, hey, I said I needed help or I needed you to do this for me so I could correct the ship. So yeah, take that advice right here. I've heard that a couple of times. I do think, and I think that works for either the man or the woman. If you're a woman, yes, take that man on a hike somewhere and see how he responds under pressure. Is he screaming at you? Or, and that's the thing too. When you get in a pressure situation like that, do they automatically resort to name calling you out your name, saying you're stupid, even if you did make a mistake, trying to belittle you and put you down? I know some of the women that I was with would definitely do that. Not all of them, though. Some of them, they probably would make a face or something, or they would get silent, but only some of them was very verbally abrasive. And I have to admit, if a woman's acting like that, you shouldn't just leave her alone. Similar like Andrew Tate would say. And as I say, a broke clock can be right twice a day. And he is correct with this.
All women say this. I want to marry you, I want to marry you. Wait till you're in an argument with them and read their messages and go, this is why I will never marry you. I read their messages and they don't realize that they've ruined their chance forever. I cannot marry you because of how you talk. A wife doesn't do this. I told you to be quiet 3 times.
What you
Here
say?
you are. Women don't want to be wives. They want to just get married.
Number 3. This is going to sound incredibly sexist. I don't care. If it is a woman that you want to get married to and she says that she wants to be a traditional wife, see if she's actually up to it. Say, okay, treat me, cook me a meal. I'm not kidding.
No, I think that's
like
mess.
No. Be honestly, like she says she wants to be a traditional wife. Like, and by the way, be like, does she enjoy it? No, this is important though. Like, and then ask her. No, I'm not even just, is she a good cook? Be like, did you enjoy doing that? Like and she like, oh, I loved it. I loved getting the ingredients. I loved looking at the cookbook. I love the recipe. I loved thinking about you when I was cooking the food. You're like, okay, this is going to be awesome. Right. Or otherwise she's like, it was a disaster. It was this. I'm like, okay, well then we might have a little bit, and by the way, I'm not saying that every wife has to cook every meal for her husband, but honestly, a lot of women out there want to do that. A lot of women want to provide for their man in that way. They want to run the house. They want to shepherd the kids.
My husband is mad at me because he walked in and he saw that I'm making breakfast, and I told him that this was for me and my daughter, and that if he wanted some, he needed to cook for himself. I told him I was not going out of my way to make breakfast for him. This is only for me and my daughter. Like, if you're that hungry, there's a McDonald's down the street, or there's eggs in the fridge and there's bacon, and you can make it yourself. He's acting like this not cooking for him thing is brand new. I gave him a list of things that I don't do the day that we got married, and he was okay with it. So what's the problem now? I told him, if you don't want to cook, you could wait and see if there's any leftovers. If there's leftovers, go ahead and eat. If there's no leftovers, then I'm sorry. You're going to have to figure it out. But I am not going to cook for you. It's not my job to cook for you. I'm sorry. And then on top of that, I'm doing scrambled eggs. He wants a fried egg. No, I'm sorry. That's too much work for me. I'm not going to do it. Plus, he's so picky with his food that he might as well just cook it himself. So like that, he doesn't have nothing to complain about.
Tell me you don't like your husband without telling me you don't like your husband. Because at that point, you're in the middle of cooking. Like, it really doesn't take that much effort to add a little bit more food to the pan. Even if it's just a fried egg, like after you take out the scrambled eggs from the same pan, just oil it up and then throw in one more egg. It blows my mind that people really are being treated this way within a relationship. Because while I do believe that there are healthy dynamics where one person takes care of their stuff and the other person takes care of their stuff, how are you showing each other that you love each other if you're not doing things for each other? That doesn't mean that you do what you want to do for that person. That means that you do what they want you to do for them. But unfortunately, I think what's happening for a lot of women is an overcorrection. They have traditionally taken on the role in the kitchen, and now there's some women out there that are absolutely refusing anything to do with the kitchen. Even if it's feeding their children, I mean, at least this lady is cooking for her children. But could we all see this potentially, ladies, as an overcorrection that you can show love to your man by cooking him something? Just a thought.
Now, truthfully, I think black women started this particular thing because I remember growing up in my community, I would hear men approach certain black women and they would say, well, I don't cook. Or right out the gate, say that they don't cook. I did not hear him ask her if she cooked. Now, there are men that will bust out and say, well, do you cook? I wasn't one of those men. Later on, when I got older, and I remember the woman that I married, I remember I was talking to her, and that was when we was just in that talk. Really, we was not dating, but I was trying to press up on her. She had her eye on someone else, and we was hanging out. But I remember her saying, I don't cook. And I was okay with that because I can cook my own damn food, woman. Okay? I even cooked her some meals just to prove that I could cook. Now, I was understanding with that because I believe a lot of women were getting that thing of, do you cook? So they had the defense thing of, well, I don't cook. Now, this is one thing I never had this conversation with those women. Maybe I should have, but I never had a problem with them doing nice things for me. Now, did all of them cook? No. But they would bring me food or save me a plate. They would look out for me in some kind of way. So while he is talking about just the cooking aspect, some of the women that captured my heart, they were doing that thing of bringing me food or snacks or ice cream. They was doing things for me that showed me that they was investing a bit. So I would clean that up a bit to say if she's investing in some kind of way. But I do think on the long term type of thing, because you can't be eating out every single day unless if she's going to be bring you food when she comes back. I mean, that counts too, but I do admit if a woman does take the time to make a man a meal, most men appreciate that. I know I have appreciated everything that those women have done for me in the past. That's some of the reason why I stuck in there when they were showing me some of their dark side because of the good things that they was doing. For me, it usually was far in the beginning. A lot of times women will say the man changed and he stopped doing stuff. I can say that with most of the women that I've dated, they changed up later in the relationship. Sometimes it was understandable. Maybe they was having family crisis. Maybe they was depressed. Maybe they was stressing about something. I always take that stuff into account because everybody's not happy 24/7. However, when I'm a guy and I'm going through something, it seems like most people won't understand. I will have friends or maybe female associates that's not really in my life like that. They'll understand, but the woman the women that I picked when I'm going through something, it doesn't seem like they really understand or care what I'm going through at the time. But we're going to get off that particular thing. I'm going to stay on the topic of what he was talking about right there. So I agree with him with that, but I would just say as long as she's investing in you or shows that she can invest. I don't hear too many women saying they want to be traditional women. Now, maybe women that are younger, well, in that 25 to 30 range might be saying that particular thing, maybe having those type of conversations with men and what man is looking for. And see, and that's the thing too. If you are a man that's her type, her number one choice, is one danger in that particular thing is the woman will try to be maybe what she isn't to try to lock you down. And sorry, a lot of white women do that. But anyway, you have to be careful with that particular thing because this may not be really her. Sometimes people will say a lot about black women, but I will say the one thing about them, at least they are honest. At least you know what you are getting. It may not be what you want, but at least you know, like, okay, she's loud, she's this particular thing. I'm talking about the women that are like that. Not all black women are like the stereotype thing. But if they're acting in that particular type of way, that is who they are. If anything, they may be softer than what they are portraying to be. Whereas other nationalities of women may be acting like they are sweet butterflies and they are not. So this one right here, he's correct, but it's a little shaky because a woman can lie. She can tell you what you want to hear if she really wants to be with you. Now that's the only thing when she's with men that she's really not feeling or she doesn't really like. She's going to be completely honest with them. You got to find that balance right there. That she desires you, she wants to be with you, but she's not going to lie to you in her presentation of herself. This one right here is not foolproof. The camping one, well, the hiking one, putting yourself into a stressful situation to see how she will behave and react. Doing the activity that will see how she will respond under pressure with you. So that one's more foolproof than this one. Let's move on.
Going into marriage, though, I'm a big believer in premarital counseling. I think that there are several questions that are not answered when most people go into marriage that should be answered. And I might freak you out with this because I don't know if you did this.
We did this.
Yeah, okay, great.
I looked at every divorce statistic and we did everything
Phenomenal.
we could to lessen the chances of a divorce.
So yeah, money is number one, right? Who's going to handle the finances? Here's one that you might not have done that you should do while you're still in the honeymoon phase. Are you going to have an open or closed house?
I don't even know what that means.
See, it's big. So were you raised in a house where a lot of friends came over all the time? Or were you raised in a house where almost no friends came over?
A normal amount. It wasn't yet, open or closed. It was, maybe like once a week we'd have like a play date or something like that.
Do you know what kind of house your wife was raised in?
Probably about the same.
Okay, it's an important question because I was raised in a very closed house, right? I know people that are raised in open houses and it's destroyed their marriages. You know the type where they're always having people over? Yeah.
That was my family, yeah.
Okay, so you get that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were to marry a closed house person and all of a sudden you were like, hey, we're going to constantly have a stream of people and you don't talk about that before marriage. All of a sudden you're like, it's total chaos for a closed house person because they're raised in a place where evenings are very quiet.
You know what? I never thought of that one. right there. And me, I'm definitely a closed house person. But see, I'm one of those people that usually attract their opposite. So a lot of women that I've dated, they have a big family, they're outgoing, that type of stuff right there. Now the thing is though, I can adapt to the situation within reason. I know she did have people over. I kind of didn't mind, but sometimes I did. But I don't know. That's like one of those adjustment things that I think would be hard with most people. I do think you do need to talk about it. And also, those people that usually invite people over, usually they like to go out or they have people. Now, the thing was, I don't like random people. And I do have to admit, one of my exes was always with the random guy. Of course, it's usually that guy serves a function. Maybe he's a mechanic. Maybe he can do something. Maybe he could get us in somewhere for free or something. Which I already know his intentions probably are. This woman is fine. I'm going to see if I can smash type of thing. Sometime it would be sometime that the person was in a relationship, so it was a couple thing. But I don't remember us doing too many couple hangouts with people. So a lot of men that she met was single. So yeah, that right there. I don't know. Other people may have to add their particular thing. I don't really mind if she's outgoing, but it depends how outgoing she is. Because I'm pretty sure me being more to myself and being able to not be surrounded with people can be boring to some women. So it's an adjustment thing right there. But once again, for men, you could dodge a lot of things if you see if the woman's a little too outgoing for you. Now, the thing that I would add to what he's saying right there, because this kind of doesn't apply to me, I don't think that's much of a factor. If she's more of an open house type of person, is who her friends are. What are the people that she's hanging around with? If she's hanging around with hood dudes or men that like to drink a lot or party a lot or something, men that are not me, I feel like I'm the oddball in the bunch. And she's, or even if it's women, but she's hanging with a group that I don't really feel like I vibe with or something, even though she and I seem to get along fine. I'm going to tell you, in the short term, it won't matter too much, but in the long term, it's going to come back for you, the man. It's going to come back and bite you in the ass. So I would say you can have fun with a woman like that for a while, but marriage, especially probably kids, that's not going to work. Let's see what else he has to say.
Sure, this is another important. Make sure that you get along with each other, that you really like each other, not just love each other, that you like spending time with that person. One of my favorite words in the English language is like. It's very unique. Only the English language actually has that. Do you like spending time or do you just love that person? That's because liking is like, hey, can you talk to that person 7 hours uninterrupted on a park bench if you needed to? Or is it just kind of like an annoyance and is it just purely physical? Other questions and other pieces of advice that I think are really important. In-laws matter. They really do. They shouldn't always necessarily be deal breakers, but boy, you should know the in-laws because, your wife will take the form of the mother more times than not. So you should at least get along with your in-law, kind of know the in-law. Children, how many children? When are you going to have children? Is it a priority? Will it be early? Will it be late?
Wow, this is so true. You have to get along with each other. Now, I will say, with this particular thing, I never had that issue. I was able to talk to all the women that I dated for extended periods of time on the phone and off. The only thing I will say with that is make sure you if you're talking to a woman, yet she's talking about another man, a crush, or another woman if she's bisexual, or a feeling, something that's not you, then don't count that. A lot of times a man will, because the woman is talking to him, giving him attention, he'll just think, okay, I have a chance. And yet you don't. I think that advice with the getting along thing applies more to men that just focus on how a woman looks. I do go by her looks, but I go by her looks and then her personality, and if we get along, if it's some type of spark there. If she looks good and we don't get along, there's no spark there, she's getting on my nerves, then to me her attraction level goes down. Not to say I still wouldn't smash, but I'm just saying then I'm not that interested in long term with her. And that is the most important thing if you're looking for a woman that you're trying to grow something with. Another thing that he's saying before he got to the babies, oh, the relatives. That right there, I usually get along with their the woman's relatives, and of course, you can't pick your relatives. It's only if they're toxic. But see, I do have to admit, if the woman has problems, issues with her dad, and her mom may be fighting a lot or something, yeah, that's true. She's going to start exhibiting the same traits as how her mom is to her to you. And any feelings that she had against her dad is also going to get put on you. Now, does this go for every case? I don't know. I can only go by the ones that I've seen and the ones that I was in. So if she has issues with her dad, that's good for the short term, not the long term. Because that means she probably won't like men, or she'll just have some type of thing. And even if she does get along with her dad, if her mom is somewhat dominating and treating her dad like trash, she will expect to do that to you. So you watch out for that one. The thing with the babies, I'm pretty. Now I have to admit, we did not have that conversation, and as I said, well, I think I say because I recorded this a couple of times. I was scared to have this conversation because I knew I was not financially ready, and then that made me think of another thing right there. You have to look at her spending habits because they always say money is one of the first reasons why people get divorced. If she likes living beyond her means, or you both do, it's not going to work. While my money was not where I wanted it to be, I've seen guys that had six figures or millionaires go broke. Maybe not just because of their wife, but the fact that she was spending a lot and his finances was going crazy, that relationship just tanked. So if her spending habits is real bad, once again, short term, not long term, okay, with that, because it will blow up in your face and she will be ungrateful. Everything that you did in the past won't matter. It will matter what you are doing now. So thinking of that right there. And while he didn't say it, I do think sexual intimacy is very important as well. But see, a lot of men will not blow up the marriage. They may watch P-Hub or they may cheat, but they won't blow up the marriage because they're not getting the punani, because they won't think it's worth taking that L of the dividing of the finances and breaking up the family. Meanwhile, the woman will. So I would put that up there too as a potential reason, and the only reason men don't pull the trigger more is because they don't want to take the loss. So yeah, and as far as the kids with the what religion. Look, I was Christian, and the ex-wife, she was Catholic, and we got married at Catholic. I really didn't care. I mean, we worship the same God. Of course, though, the theology is a bit different. If everything is going well between me and the woman, we get along, we have the chemistry, we do things together, we've been through things together, I won't let certain things like that, a difference of religion, come between us. My only lines in the sand is if she's a Satanist or a Luciferian. Those two right there, yeah, I'll stay away from that type of stuff. But yeah, I don't think that's a big thing. And of course, we did not discuss how we would raise the kids. So I do think that's important as well. See, that's the thing too. You got to have those tough conversations before you totally get in the water. Because the longer you delay doing it as a man, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass later. So you better do it now. And one thing that I will say for the women, as men, we do have to have date night. We do need to take them out. And you may ask why, because that's the thing that women like to do. And how I look at it as, even though my woman still went out, I'd rather she go out with me than hanging out with some other guy or going out ladies' nights out. And bear in mind, I used to didn't mind that when I was younger because maybe I was drawing, maybe it was something that I was trying to do anyway. I was like, fine, go. But I guess when she kept doing it, even though she would call me and say, oh, I'm not having a good time, I'm not coming out again, and then do it next week, I've seen how some women are when they go out and they just stay amongst their friends and they don't interact with men. There are women that do that when I used to go out quite a bit. But then there is that segment of women that do go out and do entertain other men and do like the attention. Which one is your woman? But anyway, I digress. Do take her out. And I'm pretty sure both of you will have a good time. Now, don't spend beyond your means. Don't have her taking you to the most expensive restaurant every single time. And to the women, make sure sometime you cook a meal. You guys have a Netflix and chill night. Which, again, I did have women that would do that. So I didn't mind going out because she would do things that I like to do. Even playing video games sometime with me. So as long as you both taking time to do what the other one likes to do, then everything should go good. So I did quite a bit of talking. There's some other points that he made in that video, but those I didn't feel free to cover. I am going to leave a link to the video so you guys can see the whole thing. Give me a like and subscribe and have a good night. And that is how you can choose a woman. But I do think the best idea is the one of taking her on a hike or camping or something to see how she acts under duress. That's the best one. Have a good night.
What's wifey material to you?
Her. Everything that she is.
That's really cute.
Do you think you're wifey material?
For Luca, yeah.
Do anything for him?
Yeah, I would do anything.
How long have you two been together?
Like a year and 2 months.
Do you guys want to split 50-50 or do you prefer to be a stay-at-home mom?
In terms of income, it's complicated because I want to be a surgeon. That makes a lot of money.
I know that like at a certain point, I want to go to Harvard Law and like I'm going to have to support her and like help her for a little bit, but she's also going to be a neurosurgeon, so like that's going to help out a lot.
You're going to be the breadwinner at first?
Yeah, at first and then later on.
And then you might end up surpassing him?
Oh, like by a lot.
When you do finally surpass him, approximate income, do you think that would change your relationship at all?
No.
Money's like not at all a factor in love.
No.
What about some of the household stuff? Who does more chores?
He's better at cooking. I would clean more. I cannot cook for anything.
I feel 50-50.
He's like a great chef. I'll do anything he wants and he can cook and it'll be even.
It seems like you guys have a really healthy relationship. I like that.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Dollar bills, keep you falling from me. I love the way I feel, boss. Some money, dropping on my money. Drop some money on a sister, yummy, yeah. Tricking, right, things I like. Buy, stopping in my ass tonight. Some money, dropping on my money. $5 bill.